is Marius Chivu. I'm a writer and also a journalist at Dilemma magazine. And it is my pleasure to introduce you these two great gentlemen. I will start with the guest, Adrian Joffe. He is the CEO of Comme, Garçons, fashion label, created in Tokyo back in 1969 by his wife Rei Kawakubo. In 1981, Comme des Garçons had a debut show in Paris, and now their clothes are manufactured in Spain, Turkey, Japan, and Paris. In popular culture, big names over the years like Björk or Frank Ocean or the movie director John Waters expressed their admiration for this fashion label. In 2017, the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York held a fashion exhibition with the theme Rei Kawakubo, Comme des Garçons, Art of the In-Between. I'm glad that we have so many students from fashion here with us. Probably they already know this fashion label. Please come and take your seats.
You are late.
We just began, so we didn't miss
Just a second, Marius.
anything. One of the most active and influential contemporary Romanian artists, and I must add, one of the most loved Romanian artists.
If you read the comments on Facebook or something, no, not so much.
Everybody loves Perjovschi. So his artistic portfolio includes drawings, posters, performances, installations, protests, publication, books, you name it. He did everything. Last year in Timișoara, there has been a massive retrospective exhibition who marked 40 years of activity in Romania, but also all over the world, from Tokyo to Venice, from Tate to MoMA. He defines himself not a political artist, but an artist with a political agenda. So these are very short introductions to our guests today. And, Adrian, Joffe, I will start with you. Both me and Perjo, we were amazed to find out that you visited Romania back in the 90s. So this is his fourth visit to Romania. So this is really great. And he wasn't alone, he was with his wife, the famous designer. So this is the first time only, right? So Adrian, what does a fashion company CEO do exactly? Let's start our discussion from here.
Tell us everything.
It's basically taking care of everything else except the design. Kawakubo, she does all the design and all the concepts and everything, and I just take care of the business really, expanding and making sure about production, about opening some shops. We don't have so many shops, but we have a few, and it's about really interpreting and executing the wishes and the desires and the creation of Kawakubo. Basically, it's actually boring work.
You keep the machinery working, right?
Yes, yeah. I think that's
boring, but very essential.
Yes, it's needed. But also, I try to have ideas about how to be creative in the business sense. You know, like opening concept stores or doing the guerrilla stores. We did the guerrilla stores in 2004 to 2014. Do you know about the guerrilla stores?
No.
You don't know the guerrilla stores?
Do you know about guerrilla stores? No.
Nobody knows about
Well, I read about them, but I'm not sure I understood the concept.
We were, I think, visiting Berlin just after the wall fell also. Maybe about the same time we came to Romania, and there was lots of, a bit like here now, a lot of empty shops, and it was a lot of hope and optimism about the freedom and the unification of Berlin. And we were in East Berlin, and we saw all these lots of different shops that were empty, and we said we have a lot of like warehouses and stock of clothes that didn't sell at the end of the year, and Carol Cooper remembers when we opened the Dover Street Market, it was like Kensington Market. When she went in the 60s and 70s to Kensington Market, every sort of student had like a little space that they did what they want. It's like it was a vibrant, wonderful market in London. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, of course.
Kensington Market was iconic. Absolutely. So we thought we had an idea of if we just give some clothes to people who weren't in fashion. It had to be, we made rules like 10 commandments, and we called it the guerrilla stores because, guerrillas can only succeed if they have rules. With anarchy you don't really achieve anything, but with rules you can achieve. So we gave them the clothes, and the other rule was they couldn't spend more than $1,000 to do up the store, and they had to be in an area where the rent was very cheap, not in a fashion area. And so that was the concept, and we did about 37 of them, all in cities that were not fashion cities, like Ljubljana, like Reykjavik in Iceland, and sometimes the fashion cities, they wanted at a guerrilla store, and then we had to make sure it was in a faraway place, which was hard to get to, and the people who looked after it were not fashion people. There had to be somebody else, So we worked with like a pharmacy, we worked with graphic designer. Sometimes it's connected, and it was very successful, and it only could last 1 year. And they only paid us for what they sold, and everything that it didn't sell, they just sent back. So, some of them worked, and they made a bit of money, the people. Sometimes it didn't work at all, but it was a good experience. Why am I talking about that?
Don't you want to do it again? Because I might open up this kind of store in my neighborhood in Giulești.
Well, it kind of ended, when we started doing the Dover streets were permanent.
All right.
It became hard to do. We can do a new kind of thing.
Do you have some sort of communication with the designers when you plan all this work, managing work?
With the
designers. You and the designers are you?
No, we left it to them. We didn't design anything. We just gave them the clothes.
No, but right now, as a CEO, do you have a constant talk with the designers?
Like this?
Yeah.
I never talk like this. Second time, I did it after the Met, and this is the second time. It's traumatizing.
I will stay for one more question with you, if it's okay with you. Comme des Garçons chooses every year an artist for a collaborative collection, and that is the reason you are here, because this year a shirt collection is made with Dan's drawings. And an obvious question is, how did you find Dan, his work, and what's got you into his drawings and artistic aesthetics and so on? Why? I mean, he is a national treasure for us. But how did you discover it?
We didn't know that when we found him. But I think I must correct you. I think the thing we used in artists for 1 year is like the direct mailings. You see some outside. This is a way to work with an artist for 1 year to communicate our news. We haven't got money for big advertising. We communicate the news like we open the shop or the collection has arrived, working with one artist for the year. This is every year for the last 16 years. And it's always one artist who they give us the work, and then Carol Kubo does like this printed matter. We really believe in printed matter. It's very important. She doesn't like internet or social media. It's very important to have printed matter. So that's one thing, one artist every year. With Dan, it's like, that can happen anytime. It can happen 3 times a year, none times a year, it depends. And for all the brands, we have many brands. So often for shirt brand, we like to look for an interesting artist in the world somewhere. So we have a little team in Tokyo that does research. And I know the young girl, Usami-san, who founded him, but I don't know where or how.
I started a conversation with Tokyo people.
With Tokyo, right?
Yeah.
And they just, maybe you have...
So you're big in Japan?
I have no idea, I'm sorry. I mean, they came across him, and they proposed to Carol Kubo. She really liked the work, and then that person who wanted to suggest a collaboration with Chef, they were to you.
Yeah.
Yes. And what did you think when they first got the mail?
Well, that's interesting because I got a lot of mails from all kind of direction, from all kind of level of society, from like big, festivals, sometimes a little association somewhere. So I tried to respond to this email. So at the beginning I was not very sure about it.
No, I think you had some doubts.
I had some doubts, yeah. But then the conversation on email went very smooth. So it was not, I didn't feel anything arrogant or something, so then it went through. So that was it. I mean, it's even like a joke, like 6 emails and here we are. On this territory, But for sure, I try to stay out of the term industry, and here we are. I try to stay out of industry and big thing and whatever. But as you just hear when Adrian said we didn't have money to advertise, we didn't want to spend money on advertising. We want no social. So this also put us together, like this idea, Gary, this kind of outside the box ideas, kind of, So this is my alley. It's right on my street.
Dan, so was there one thing about us that made you decide to collaborate with us?
Yeah. I didn't know much, so I asked around, and every people I asked in different, like artists, curator, so everybody have only positive.
Only, you didn't hear anything negative?
No. And this was also, let's say, in Istanbul. So it's Erdogan. I don't want to go first.
No way.
But then the people there say, well, but these guys could try to do. So then I ask references. Who are these guys? What they did? So you don't go today. You don't go anywhere. The first call. You ask around what's happening, who they are, who are behind the institute. So that's why I ask in my ecosystem, and all the references were very good.
I guess it fits you. It fits you. The aesthetic, punk, unconventional, anti-underground, something like
independent.
Independent, small, but also with such a social.
Small, but in Seoul, when I said that the building of conventions was kind of a big building. The show was 4 floors or something.
But it's smaller comparing to the big names.
Yeah, not as big as most people.
But still,
Let's talk about, there's an important reason for you two to collaborate, because Adrian Dan asked you to donate his fee to charity project. So maybe we should talk about this, because it's an important thing and it defines you, Dan.
I just try to stay out of this money situation because I didn't understand, so I just asked them, can you donate the money? And they was, oh sure, we doubled.
And because it was such an amazing thing to hear, I think that's the first time. It happened once before maybe. Some artists we worked with wanted to donate to a school for refugees in Switzerland. Yeah, JR from France. And so you were the second one, and then I just said it was so good, so I doubled the money.
Yeah, they were very nice. We don't discuss very, very big money, but as you said, I didn't know this territory, so it was not necessarily backup. The last years, I was in this kind of situation to support this hospital since 10 years, but it accelerated.
The Rechte Piazza, who don't know already.
And also, I was in the track the last years for the Ukraine, and especially the institution who deals with children, kids from Ukraine, because you can imagine, like 2 years COVID and 5 war, so it's 7 years a kid living somewhere. Can you imagine that? Anyway, so I was in a track that I realized I have this power, I can bring money to, So you just came fantastically.
Well, thank you, it's amazing. And we made, we gave them some t-shirts, I saw pictures of the sick children.
Yeah, they give to also, that was very nice too.
Did they know? Did they?
Yeah, it's a lot of photos with them.
Adrian, Comme des Garçons was seen as a punk label, as I already said, or even as an anti-fashion label.
Punk by nature, by definition, is anti-establishment. It's looking for a new way to express things, not by established values. We never like preconceived ideas about everything. You can't create something if you have to follow the rules. So I think, that in nature, by essence, is a political statement. But she's never been overtly political. She doesn't like to support, it's all very private, But the statements she makes about the themes of the collections and things always relates to something political happening. She follows the news a lot. She watches all the news. She knows the presidents. She loves Zelensky. She really follows, and she hates Trump like with a passion.
Who doesn't?
I told you, right on my street.
She really gets upset. She gets upset with these people, and so, but she doesn't say this overtly. She does it indirectly through the collections, which.
So as Dan
use me.
So we use people like that.
So as Dan put it about himself, it's not a political fashion label, but also has a political agenda.
Absolutely,
somehow.
yes. I think it's more effective that way.
I think this is very important, and this is very important for you to hear. Because fashion is not that or that or that's many things, and you can have this stand, and you can not maybe be obvious. That's the idea. That's not right. Very obvious, but it's there. Yeah.
If it's too obvious, it feels like proselytizing. Do you understand?
Or maybe hypocrisy.
Like preaching. If you just say it, you're preaching, and it's just maybe you think it's performative. You want to sell more clothes, but for us, it's taking the chance of. It's not for selling clothes, it's for believing in your values, I think.
But there are some who does that.
Yeah, a lot, yes.
I mean, who uses that.
A lot of that, yes. Perform it, yeah. We won't mention any names.
So you come for a lecture about fashion and now we went to philosophy. Right? So watch out, you have to have this culture around your clothes you imagine. And the politics, it's pretty tough.
But it's also, I think, the values of Kawakubo, Comme des Garçons, are political in a sense, because, fundamentally is like to work hard. You have to work hard and work hard with all your heart and all your mind, and to create something new, because otherwise there can be no progress. This is kind of a political statement, I think. It's saying when people want to change the government or do things, it's because things are not good. So I think it's natural in a way.
So Dan, apart from this, is there anything else that interests you as an artist in the fashion?
Yeah, of course. Like if you go now to the exhibition at the entrance, there are some objects there which are more into the visual arts than to the fashion. In a way, they are kind of sculptural things. So there's a section in the fashion, but also in the way the clothes are designed, but also the way they are performed today, which is really artistic. I mean, there's a blur between, so that attracts me. The radicality, the statement, the anti-establishment thing, so all this kind of stuff. Of course you can, I said always that I was Balenciaga before Balenciaga because I'm always painted. I put this here to draw, and in the airplane sometimes because of the pressure, the ink come, So, but these guys are very, they look around. So if you look around, there are always this kind of little conversation coming to you, and if you look, then you can pick it up and develop it, no?
Yes.
So I think this was attractive to me. But I have to admit that today, also my visual art territory, fashion, we all come to the football level of, enormous money, and, it's always like a machinery of producing more money, and spectacle for nothing.
For not empty, yes.
Empty, yeah. So your feed is full with, Met Gala or whatever, which is constantly producing images which are sometimes empty, but they come to you constantly. The same with the visual art. It's never ending. So it's very hard to, so that was attracting to me at a certain level of the, who is doing political fashion. Some.
What does it mean, empty?
I don't know, it's just a facade.
I mean,
it's just a replica of something. It's just...
Isn't it that the reader, the viewer are putting the meaning into...
I think empty means inauthentic, not true, not honest, not real.
It's the copy of the copy of the copy,
yes,
not
original.
Yeah.
Not meaningful. I think all this. Do you agree?
I agree, and I agree. How you said sometimes, you need to create, to make some brutal, but not all the time. So not all the time you have to jump off the runway, So it's depending. And you're right. People with their own culture can see things, right? But I think there is still a structure there who can say this is interesting, important, and these are just like shadows or whatever. This is just industry.
I already have a question regarding Comme des Garçons. How do you maintain both your relevance and authenticity? Or maybe your authenticity is the relevance of your brand?
Yes, that's it. We can only do what we believe and carry on doing that. People ask me how we do, how did we get here? It's just like hard work and sticking to your values. It's a business. We're not artists. We just make business out of creation, but we never make compromises, and we just, always never wavered from the belief system that we have. I think it's just keeping true, and it's not always easy. It's very hard sometimes.
But speaking of compromises, freedom, risk, experimentation define both your creative universes. But in these days of polarity and very sensitive times, do you find easier or harder to take risks anymore?
No.
Because I'm asking this because during the years there were some controversies that Comme des Garçons went into inside the Jewish, Latin American or black community. Were there these controversies part of your punk take or just accidents?
Total accidents. We didn't know it was the day of our show was the anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, and also it was manipulated by the press because the pajamas we were showing were multicolored. It wasn't black and white. It wasn't like the uniforms in the camp. It was just a coincidence and an accident. And they came. It was like 2 days later. The Jewish Congress of the world came to the showroom, and they said, yes, this is absolutely, it's all multicolour. The theme was boys in a public school waking up in the middle of the night because there was a fire. So they would all run out into the street wearing their stripy coloured pajamas. But then they showed it. There was one man in one model that had a shaved head, but all the other 15 models had long hair. So they picked out the one guy with a shaved head, put the picture in black and white, and made a big story. So it was a total accident. We don't like to cause controversy like this.
It's called smear campaign. Sometimes
Yes.
they are cutting an element from your statement and then they put it in a different
All
context.
untrue, yes. And it became a very big thing. Pure creation that's so new or avant-garde that it's going to upset people, or people passing off something, like they copy some tradition, some shoe, and then they called it themselves. So that's.
There were many people who thought about you that you're not right in the head.
I can believe it.
I'm not a good artist anyway, so I graduate painting, as you see.
Did this help you?
Yeah, I mean, I have this path in my career that I have to get out of the learning and to relearn things, and then you relearn things, and then you also you reach a moment you have to de-learn again, and so on and so forth, and it's continuously, because after my art education stops around Picasso. So when we went outside Romania, the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s from the West, boom, hit us at once, like, wow. And then we become bulimic in recuperating this. And then, you know, so I'm joking now that after we know now the Western world, we found out it's colonial. So there is like a half of 3/4 of the planet left. So we want to explore that too, so the planet become much more interesting now, right? So, yeah, you know, well, about the language and about the controversy, of course there's no middle of the road in everywhere, all the time, no. So you have to have a stand. There's a moment you have to have a stand. These are arsehole extremists, they want bad. Stand against them. With any means you have. You don't have to go and fight with the fists, but maybe with a t-shirt, no? And fight with a t-shirt.
Is it possible to unlearn something?
More or less. Well, at least the composition I learned in school, I just nuance it or put it on the side. Sometimes it kicked back. I remember when I draw stuff and I said, yeah, done that, but it's not very clear. So maybe you put something heavy on the ground to keep the composition. But this is what we learned, and just forget about it. So yeah, it's coming, it's like fluid, it's not like brutal.
So take notes, kids. Speaking of the shirt as a weapon, is it still possible? Do they really care? I mean, because in the world, yeah. I mean, because I guess at some point it meant something to have a stance on your shirt. But how is it right now? I mean,
I think you can't generalize. Some people don't care at all, of course. Some people don't care to see something new. They rather be safe. In times it changes in cycles, I think. You know, when there's insecurity in the world, people are afraid of everything. They don't want to see something new. So they don't care at all. They'd rather be comfortable. But I think it's exactly the time when it feels unsafe and everybody afraid of the future and crazy people. It's the time to carry on doing more new things. So we have to get over the fear of new things.
Because you've been in this business for 40 years or more, you've seen generations after generations. Yeah. Can you say if there's a big difference between the generations, the younger generation right now comparing to the other ones? Are they, more afraid of experiencing new things?
From this angle, you are the younger generation.
I think we have both now. We have both now. We have a lot of new, young, creative designers. They want to be independent. They don't want to go work for a big house. They want to do their own thing and not be swayed and taking risks. They're very brave. But they see this as the only option, because to join the establishment and to do safe things and want to have red carpets and everything like this, it's not so easy either. So it's not just, you can't describe the new generation as one thing. But it feels a good moment now to be strong and independent and take risks. It becomes, when things are all comfortable, then people don't take risks. And then fashion becomes boring, art becomes boring. So now it's a good time to dare to take risks and do something different, I think.
Dan, you're doing what you're doing since forever. I mean, it doesn't seem that you try to find new tools you just need a piece of chalk or a pen and a wall, and you're doing your thing. I mean, did it ever cross your mind that you have to move someplace else as an artist to reinvent yourself or something like that? Because the drawings that you did 20 years ago are still relevant, and you're doing the same thing right now.
Yeah, not quite the same. If you come in, we have a big retrospective show at Art Cube in Lipscani, me and my wife, so you can see two parallel careers. And you can see there that it's always changing. Sometimes you don't see, and sometimes it's visible. So from drawing like that to drawing like that, or so from drawing which still have a line to the very radical symbol. So that's a process, and sometimes I repeat the same drawing which I made in 1995, but repeating and redrawing it, I change it a little bit slowly. you know. And in some cases I was stupid at the beginning of the night. I didn't know much about this world, so I learned it, so I don't do that drawings any longer because it's like close to racist, or you know, you don't know, you're young, you come from an isolated country, you have no idea about feminism, or no idea about, you know, LGBTQ, right? So you can make a statement which today doesn't work. It doesn't work because it can be very offensive in a wrong way. So I change it. I change those drawings, so I don't do them anymore. So yeah, it is a progress, but you know how they say, if it's not broke, why change it, no? Why change it, right? So I will keep doing that until I die and after. So depending what wars they have in the, you know, so it's like now it's like a plateau with things, and you know, I never planned this. It just came, so I try to stay open for things who comes towards me, and this may change something, you know. By the way, I didn't want to be merchandise at all, so I refused for many years. And then I say, well, but why I should produce drawings that nobody can buy because it's too expensive, right? Why should not do postcards and shirts and you know everybody can have, or you know, this. So that I changed my philosophy some years ago.
Good.
Yeah,
good for us.
No, but you know, you don't know these things.
Are you ever satisfied with what you've done?
Yeah.
Or you are sometimes. You say, oh, this is good.
Yeah, but but it's in a different way, I think. Well, I come from a society where I didn't have the freedom to express. So every time now I'm doing this, a t-shirt, a wall, a drawing, I say, well, this is amazing. You know, I can do whatever I like, this is fantastic. It's like, I really enjoy this. So, but then I feel also I told you, the responsibility, so I have to address on that wall what's going on. Like you said, I have to draw about gap. The gaps in our society, they are full of gap in our society. So I have to address that. And it's not like necessarily big risk, but still, there's, you know, there's you don't make yourself pleasant, no, if you are criticizing the structure we invite you to show, no? But you don't criticize it in order to destroy it, you want to make it better.
It's not to destroy it.
Yeah, to make it better, more interesting for people, you know, even the museum, what does it mean a museum in nowadays? What does it mean? So I try to be very popular with the guards and the director of the museum. So that's very funny. No, very interesting that the people, like in New York, I remember the people who have to survey. It was a woman, and we say every day, you know how is it? Hi, how are you? And said, Dan, I was almost fired because of you. I said, wow, what happened? So I look at your drawing and I laugh. And then the supervisor comes and says, you are not here for laughing, you are here to guard. But this creates for me like kind of it's like a dialogue any longer, you know. It's a, you know. So I heard what they say. I can maybe put on the drawing also. So from the little folk, from the ground, how it looks. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm really enjoying the ride now.
So ideas can come from everything, right? Yeah. From your head, from a conversation with the guy.
Like this conversation too, I can draw it. It's a new collection.
So Adrian, Dan's work is often built on ephemeral foundation. I mean, on walls. I mean, he can erase what he's drawing and so on. But what remains after the trend is gone? What do you think is the legacy that your fashion label?
Not the trend. I mean, we're not in the trend, but like our work, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think you have the archives. We've kept one of everything we've ever made. But also, Carole was not interested in legacy, you know, it doesn't matter to her. She's never interested in posterity or legacy. Everybody else is interested in that for us, but not her. It's for her, it's just doing it day by day. It's every day, gets up and works, not thinking about future or legacy. You know, it's not interesting to her. This is very unusual, I think. I've never heard of anybody not interested in the legacy. She said, what do I care? I'm not here. Who cares?
And posterity has...
So the work is not about that.
Posterity has this flaw that it's
a flaw.
You're not there when it happens.
Yes.
But you know what's left?
Exactly.
Like I said, the references. When they ask around about Comme des Garçons, this is how it's coming. That's what's left. What people think about and how they look at your job, or the life job, an entire life. Yeah, so I think that's very important.
Do you ever think of your legacy?
No, well, it's the same story. Like 90% of what I draw, it's already erased.
But
But the references are good.
You
and,
just
you know,
had a retrospective of 40 years of your
yeah,
work.
yeah, with the things which were not erased. So it's just 10%.
And photos of things that...
And some kind of echoes. And you know, because if this is your my practice, I didn't choose. It just end up in this situation. So I have to learn how to deal with that. And my shows come from a notebook where I made the drawing. And then now the museum who have the big spectacle, maybe they buy the notebook. So the show is gone and they have the seats.
Did you say you never chose to be an artist?
No, I didn't choose to have this kind of array, and it just happened to me, and so I have to accommodate the idea that I draw here, and then in a month this is washed out.
Nice, I like that. Ephemeral, it's
hard sometimes.
It's hard, yes.
And I think the same. Who cares? I will not be here, so you cannot redraw my drawings the way you like.
The proper collection for you with Dan's drawings were that if you wash your t-shirt, the drawings are gone.
Yes. That would be fun.
And appearing on your skin.
Well, they do fade anyway.
You can go further if you want. Yeah.
Adrian, we were talking about Comme des Garçons, a Japanese fashion label, but established in... what's the identity? Meaning, is there something that defines in terms of culture?
No. She's always... No. It's just an accident. She happens to be Japanese. Of course, having brought up in Japan and also, post-war, there was the occupation, so there was a lot of memories and things. It's who she is, but the fact that it's Japan and not anywhere else is just by the by. She doesn't like the Japonisme, the people who make stories about geishas and things like this. She loves the tradition. That's the very interesting thing. She likes to make something new, but she really believes in tradition that's authentic and lasts forever, But there's no identification with us of any particular culture, no.
But she, as the other Comme des Garçons designers, are drawing inspiration from different cultures.
Yes, I think to do their collections, to make their things, of course they look at the world and anything interesting, they do lots of research. You can draw from it, but everywhere, the whole world, not...
How do you keep balance between inspiration and what they call cultural appropriation? Because you had some problems with the Mexican culture
not recently,
not
right?
recently,
No.
Back in the 2000s.
Oh, a long time ago, somebody did, yes.
Yeah. The question is, it is difficult right now to draw inspiration.
You just appropriate Romanian culture.
Yes, look at this. Maybe we'll get arrested on the way out. I think you just take it, you don't like, but especially for her, she likes to get things out of her head, and nothing is direct, But some other designers, they may see something and inadvertently or by accident. You have to be careful, I think.
Dan, does your artwork fit in any cultural context? Do you have something that is so Romanian that, some other place they cannot get it? They don't get it?
No. So first of all, it's like my art belongs to democracies.
Yes.
I cannot do that in territory which are problematic. And which is very interesting lately is that the democracy itself starts to become problematic. So I had to ask the curator which are the hot issues in a certain places, not to take care when I touch them, not to create problems for the curator in that particular museum. And that, I cannot go to United States of America for about 2.5 years because my phone is full of anti-Trump drawings, So we end up in this world where you cannot go to the main democracy because, no? So this is one. Second, there are kind of particularities in every culture. And maybe if I do a stuff about whatever here, people in Seoul will not get it. But vice versa is also that valid. So I try to do this kind of middle, like things so easy that people understand or hook or click everywhere. Of course I can't. Of course there are things which doesn't work. And I use a lot of English, but I also use, if I go in Italy, I use Italian, or in Czech Republic, Czech, because they don't know English enough. Although not really, or I use very, very simple English, no? So it happens that I ask, what do you mean by that? Or, you know, and for me it was so clear. But it happens, so I think this is part of the game now. It's kind of nice to have on the very, very straightforward wall something you don't get. It's like, you know, some kind of a layer there. Sometimes I look in my own notebooks and I don't understand what's about in that story, because it's gone here, you know. So that happens. But it's not like really. The advantage of being like you and us is that there is a there's the kind of hyper nation all over the planet you can share. Ideas, experience, it's your family, and it's all over. So that's create a bit of a comfort for you as a, you know, when you go, I don't know, Thailand or in a culture you don't know. Yeah?
It's universal language, right?
It is a universal.
There's nothing peculiar.
And we are so lucky. We are so lucky that we have this language.
Going back to the first step of your collaboration, there were drawings that Dan sent to you that didn't fit your...
The best ones.
I mean, that you rejected because they needed context or something like that? No. Did you get all his drawings?
Everything he sent we loved, yes. And everything we wanted, we already liked from what we found. He agreed, right? There was
they asked me 10, I sent them 12, so you can choose.
Yeah, he made 12 for us and we chose them all.
Yeah.
Did they send you a topic or?
No, it was no.
We don't like what he was doing already. So.
And I said maybe I can do something with this. You see in all the drawings there's a character. So this hanging with the love is. So
but you made some things for us, right?
Well,
non-toxic Garçons.
Yeah. Well, the rest, I mean, there are only 2 which are from kind of my portfolio, but the rest is made for.
For us.
Yeah. And the one with the non-toxic Garçon was a kick. and they get it. They bite.
Good one.
Well, because I asked Madeline, asked me yesterday, that's because we have the Tate brothers here. Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wake up. We are in a culture where Tate brothers consider they can come here and do their toxic masculinity and it will be okay.
That Adrian don't know what you're talking
No.
about.
No, it's
why don't you arrest them? They're terrible.
I don't know. Ask the guys
At
who
some
get
point
more
they
money
were,
than me.
but
Terrible, but that's the situation. That's my culture now. Where Tate brothers think is the place to go. Can you imagine? So that's a bit the drawing
gives them like freedom. Very, very hard, isn't it? I think, especially now, it's hard because there's so much this. You know, it's so much information that everybody's seeing all the time. But I can only say you have to really know what you want and try ignore all the data that you get, dream and explore, open your eyes. It's a very hard thing to get away from the heaviness of information, I think. But it's always been the case to really just to work hard and be strong, be brave, and believe in what you have to say and have a vision. It's very important to have a vision. Whether it's to be the next Gap or the next Comme des Garçons, it doesn't matter.
Get a vision.
I think you're born with it. No, I don't know. You have to be open and free your mind. You can't just go and buy a vision, you know. It has to come from inside, I think.
I think there were always tough times, Adrian, no?
Yes.
It was tough time. Imagine this after the war in Japan, no?
Very tough.
So there are always tough times, and there are always, from time to time, good times or stable times. So I have a more practical and more optimistic thing to say, that if you hook up with what you want to do or what you love to do,
What you're
and
interested in.
keep doing it, no matter what, sooner or later it will click. This I can sign and give it to all of you. It will click.
That's what I said, the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Believe in yourself.
But you
and
have to
stick to
you
it.
have to have patience, and it's
need
rare
patience.
patience today. Everybody wants
Yes.
everything now.
Yes,
This is the problem.
yes, yes. But you know, if you have this kind of stamina to keep going, doesn't matter what, it will work out, a way or another. You know, I was trained as a painter, very academic painter, and look, no,
Look what happened.
look at that. Yeah.
Adrian, Dan, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.